as winter progresses, you can move on to fishing any of the main lake points. This is a secondary point that we're on now in about 8 meters of water, so like 24 foot, and it tapers into the back of a bay, so it gives you transition for fish to feed up. And one of the best ways to target these fish that are either moving up in the water column is with a drop shot. And that is going to be with a small bait fish presentation. This is a 3-inch Damiki armor shad. You can use a Zoom Junior Super Fluke. Alternatively, you can just go for something like McArthy's Tiddler, which is slightly bigger in profile. And it's a very simple fishing strategy. Cast the bait out. You can fish parallel to some of these or across these points. And the advantage of fishing a drop shot is that it gives you a similar action to a weightless. You can just get it down further a lot quicker as well, and you can keep it in that zone. And you don't really want to make too many movements. You don't want to lift your rod. You don't want to pull the bait up off the bottom. You just want to work it slowly through this cover. There's a lot of chunk rock here, and it's a bait you can keep in that strike zone for a lot longer. You can either fish it vertically, so if you're doing that classic TV game fishing, you can drop your bait right under the transducer if you come over some fish that are suspended off the bottom. And it's a very finesse presentation. When the water gets really cold, you can keep the bait in place for quite a bit of time and just shake your rod tip. So some guys even opt just to tap that rod tip, get that bait going there. It causes the bait to almost flicker on the bottom, and your bites are generally going to come as there's a transition, and the fish are going to pick the bait up and they're simply going to swim away. So there's no need to set the hook, just reel into the fish, and gives you a deep water, more vertical style presentation when that water's cold. So you don't need to complicate your gear when fishing on a drop shot. You can go for a 7-foot medium action rod spinning with a 1,000 to 2,500 size reel, and I'm just going to use small baitfish style imitation. So this is the Damiki armor shad right there, and then your alternatives are baits like Zoom's Junior Super Fluke, or Super Fluke Junior I should say, as an alternative. So if the fish want something really small, that Damiki is a great option. If the bait fish in your venues are slightly larger, you can go for a Super Fluke, or alternatively you can even opt for McArthy's Tiddler.